It's time for Recipe of the Day. This past weekend, I was out for dinner at a restaurant and there were Brussels sprouts on the menu, and I didn't think anything of it. Brussels sprouts are just commonplace on restaurant menus now. But then when I was in the grocery store, I realized that there were Brussels sprouts there as well, and they've really become an all year vegetable. Like, obviously they have seasons where they're better and more readily available, but I think the trend of having them as like those like crispy, sweet, tangy side dishes on so many restaurant menus has meant that they're in demand all the time. And so grocery stores are getting them all the time. And so I bought some this week and followed my recipe for the air fryer crispy balsamic Brussels sprouts and realized while I was in there that it doesn't have a podcast episode. So I've never told you guys about these before. Now I thought to myself, no, I should wait until the fall. That's when people want Brussels sprouts. And then I was like, you know what? They were on that restaurant menu. They are in my grocery store. I am doing it today. So these are kind of restaurant style in that they are nice and crispy and then have this like sweet tangy thing going on, but they're made in the air fryer and are super easy to make at home. So you start with medium-sized Brussels sprouts if you can. That's like 1 inch in diameter. And that's just the right size for like them to get soft in the middle before they get too brown on the outside. So that's why I like that size. You can adjust though if they're smaller or bigger. Now you're going to cut these in half through the stem end, but don't trim the stem off. We want it there to hold the sprouts together, and that is perfectly edible. I guess if you were getting the like Brussels sprouts that are all attached to that like big stem and then their little individual stems are quite long, you would want to trim those off a little bit. But the normal grocery store ones with the little nub on them, leave the nub in place. It helps hold the leaves together, and we want that because we want them to be able to get soft in the middle and crunchy on the outside. If the leaves all fall off, then they all get crunchy. Now, of course, the crunchy leaves are good. So when some fall off, that is a good thing. You just don't want them all falling off. So that's why we're leaving that stem end on. And then you're putting the sprouts in a big bowl along with a tablespoon of olive oil, a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, a teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of pepper. Toss those all around and then just let them marinate for 5 minutes while you heat up your air fryer to 360 degrees Fahrenheit. So that is hot enough that they are going to get nice and soft in the middle and just start browning on the outside. So after they've been sitting and marinating for 5 minutes, take them out of the bowl, leaving behind any liquid that kind of accumulates at the bottom because we don't want them to be watery. And they're going straight into your air fryer for 8 minutes. Then give the basket a really vigorous shake. You do want some of those leaves to fall off, right? And then you're cooking them until they're tender inside and just beginning to crisp around the edges. And that's going to be another 7 to 10 minutes. Then at that point, you're going to drizzle them all over with a teaspoon of honey. We want some caramelization and stickiness to go on here, right? And increase the temperature to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you're cooking them until they're nice and crispy and deeply browned. It's going to be about 2 to 4 more minutes. And that is it. I will just say that the place I was at that had their Brussels sprouts that made me think of all this in the first place was Cooper's Hawk. And theirs have this kind of sweet tanginess and then a little bit of something creamy going on. I'm convinced it's something like a bang bang sauce. And so I dip my Brussels sprouts in a little bang bang sauce, just the store-bought stuff. And it is an amazing combination. So give that a try. I will put the link to this recipe in the show notes for this podcast episode, or you can head to cookthestory.com/ROTD and get it there. Everything there is arranged by date, so it's helpful to know that today is April 10th of 2025. And I want to remind you that if you like my recipes, you should bookmark my website so you can go and search on them whenever you need a delicious recipe. I test everything so thoroughly, you know it's going to work. This recipe is on thecookful.com, TheCookful. So make sure you have that bookmarked, and then also cookthestory.com. Bookmark both of them. And then anytime you are looking for just the right thing for dinner, you want ideas, go there and get some brainstorming ideas going on there, but also go there and search for exactly what you want. If you are looking for roasts, vegetable side dishes, salads, dressing, marinades, there is everything that you could want to search for all in that place, and you know you can trust me. So, extra bonus, 2 sites. Go and check everything out over there. I am Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, the all-new chicken cookbook, and from this podcast, Recipe of the Day. I hope you have a great day. Let's get cooking.